What's up, everybody? A Sparrow with a Gun here from Sleepless Nights with another episode on Space Engineers. When we left off in the last episode, we were still working on the capital vessel, and I had done this kind of internal layout, if you will, of where the conveyors were going and so on and whatnot. I've done a little bit off camera, and I'm going to explain it real quick, and then we're going to get into some other stuff that I actually think I might work on the solar array today. I might. That's what I'm thinking. That's why I've got this outline here. These conveyor points come out to the middle, and I'm kind of thinking this external top layer is going to be where they go, depending on the size that I end up designing, because I need to make them a bit more vertical, and I'll explain that in a minute. So, first of all, obviously there's a lot more thrusters going on. So, I went a little cray-cray, went a little nuts. I don't know that this is required, but it seems to be working-ish. So, oh yeah, I forgot about gravity. I keep forgetting stuff. So I need to put a gravity room, or at least a gravity generator area somewhere. So I've got this catwalk here. This is eventually going to be the main walkthrough part here. I'm going to have to do something about this, which actually should be relatively simple, because that's those there. So we'll just come out. Nope. Where's my single block? There we go. So let's do one there. Yeah, let's do another one, just to make sure. And then we'll go up, bring this up here, do an elbow, bring that across. And then we should be able to get rid of this. Hopefully nothing breaks. Not break, it broke. Okay, so that should be connected and stuff, just to make sure everything stays connected. We're gonna bring a line down like that, and that would make up the doorway. That was not the intended block meant to use. I always do that. Anyway, so we've got all these gyroscopes here, as you can see. I've got a vent under this catwalk, so it's kind of got a hidden vent. We may change vent placement and stuff later. I'm kind of still surprised at how much this is, like, these vents try to vent, basically. And then we got stairwell. Definitely need some gravity in here. We've got batteries, a couple of large reactors. I say a couple, I think there's about 6 of them, because I'm not the best with reactor power. I don't entirely know how much of whatever I need. This was designed a bit more for aesthetic maintenance kind of thing. This is not a very maintenance-friendly area, I will admit that, because if any one of these gyros and stuff breaks, it'd be a pain to get to them. And then there's a bunch of little mini reactors, but the mini reactors connect to the large conveyor ports, and then this one connects to that line, and it goes under there. So essentially we've got the conveyor port wired up. You got gyros under here. Batteries are what the gyroscopes are attached to, and then we've got thrusters attached to the reactors and so on. And I kind of just eyeballed the number of thrusters and stuff like that. And I made sure to space them out accordingly. One thing I've been using is I'm using the build tool, which gives us this overlay, but then I like mixing in spectator mode, because I can keep my character with the welder on it to keep it selected, and then I get a really good eyeball of where the thruster damage is actually going to be. Now, one thing I'm not happy with so far with this is it does seem to function okay. I'm not entirely happy with the aesthetic, and what I mean by that is, like, when you walk in, you've just kind of got this stuff floating, or it's either floating or it's just you can see through stuff. There's no visible attachment points, etc. and so on. So I haven't thought all of it through as far as I left enough space under the conveyor to put blocks underneath this or lights or something like that. I can't place anything in between the reactors here, which is kind of annoying, but it is what it is. So the question I end up asking myself is, should these thrusters be up one block so that there can be a block of stuff above, or rather between, the reactors and the thrusters, or does that make it look more industrial kind of thing, like you can see all the working guts and whatnot? I'm kind of thinking for this area I might do glass along this catwalk here, so that as you walk in you could like see the thrusters and the gyroscopes and stuff like that. That's an idea that I had, not sure. So the other thing is I expanded this area slightly. I added some internal hydrogen thrusters, mainly as a backup, that if you're out in space, these aren't enough, the hydrogen thrusters get damaged on the wings out here. You know, I wanted some internal oomph kind of thing. So I've got a few of them, not too many. There's 4 in the forward, reverse, and upward directions on each side, so a total of 8. And then there's 2 left and right, and 2 down on each side. So that would be 4 on both sides. So that's an idea. Now, as for a test run, I actually tested this the other day. It seemed to work pretty well, but it's not fully loaded, nor is it finished. So there's a lot of armor blocks and materials and stuff that we're going to have to factor in here. But were I to simply grab... let's grab... Oh, I didn't even realize the hydrogen ones were there. I mean, not the shooting star ones. Let's do... I don't think I have any smalls, so let's do large hydrogen thruster. Let's actually spell it all out. I don't know if any of these are going to be on the star or not. I don't think they are. Let's just grab them. We'll see. So I want to group them. So let's do... I don't know. Capital H2 thrusters. Why not? Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to grab the thrusters and put that there. Let me also grab the ions. So large... Oh, sci-fi. Forgot about that. Sci-fi ion thruster. Yeah, that should be fine. I think I renamed all of the other ones before, so that should work. So let's do capital ion. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is test out each one, see how it flies, because I feel like I did this off camera, but I don't think I actually separated them. So gyroscopes, it's not too bad. I would actually think that a bit more gyroscopes may be needed, especially as we add more to the ship. It may need some more, so I may put some more in the front, not only as backups, but also as secondaries in terms of it'll put them in 2 different locations. I shouldn't have said backups first. What I meant was not as extras and more gyroscopes, but as in it'll also put them in 2 different locations. Now, for thrust, it actually accelerates and stuff pretty well with both of them. I'm surprised at that. With both hydrogen and ion, it actually moves really well in terms of acceleration. I'm kind of impressed, not gonna lie. I shouldn't have fired that direction, I don't think. I hope I didn't damage anything over there. Oh well. Okay, so we turn hydros off. It actually moves pretty decently with ions. I'm kind of impressed. I would have thought I would have needed more. However, I will point out that's a crap ton of ions. So there is that. I'm going to have a pain in the butt trying to get the resources to build this ship. This ship has gotten far larger than I originally anticipated. So, yeah, there's that. So that said, I may add a few more hydrogen ones as we build, because I'm going to probably expand these. These look too small now for the rest of the ship. But I don't think it's uber necessary to add too many, because it's actually moving pretty good. And I don't really think I'm going to bulk up this whole thing with, like, full armor everywhere. We do have quite a bit of room in this section based on the fuselage I have ironed out here that we could go back and add some more things. So there's plenty of room for, oh, I know, we'll put gyros in the gravity room. That's what we'll do. We'll put some gyroscopes in the gravity room. That'll work. And then maybe put some more out front. I'm not sure. Anyways, I think what I'm going to work on is the solar arrays that I wanted to build, and I'm tempted to build ones on the bottom of the nose here, but this may be a little fighter hangar too, so I'm not really sure. I may leave it. I may just put them on top. We'll see. But what I want to do is I'm going to need... what hotbar was I working on? I think it was this one I was working with. So one thing I'm going to need is hangar doors. That's one thing I forgot. Now, the large hangar doors are... what are they, 3 blocks long? In terms of space? So we got one there. And then I believe 2 more. Yeah. So that's going to be the big issue here. Is I need to make sure essentially that is that really the large ones? Are there 2 different kinds? Oh, there's a gate. Nope, that's what they are. Alright, well. And the gates, I think, are the same, realistically. Actually, they're less. They're 2. And they're like 3 blocks wide, but they're only 2 in width, so that may not work. But it means that we've got to work with an area that's essentially this long. And I wish we could do more than that, honestly. But it kind of is what it is. So I've only got a 4 block width? Oy, that's going to be a pain. Alright, well anyways, let me work on this a minute and see what I can come up with. Okay, so let me just start by saying I don't think this is going to go well at all. So I've got the hangar doors laid out here, obviously. I just don't see this going. I just don't see this ending well. So this is what I've come up with so far. And it's trying to stick to the 4 block period, spacing, but as you can see here, this is not making me confident, because unless they have drastically changed the collision boxes, which I know they said they did, it doesn't look like it's going to clear, even with 4 blocks. So, I'm nervous. Hence why I have... actually, I'm just going to save this one more time, because, yeah. So the idea was keeping with a 4 block spacing. So there's 2 panels and 4 batteries in each segment, essentially. And then I've got, on a separate conveyor with a hinge and a piston, some extendable oxygen farms. Now, ideally, or another, not necessarily ideally, but another way we can do this if we wanted to continue it, assuming it works, which is a big if at the moment, is you could always build off of this and then, oops, you know, then do something like this and continue. Where's my hotbar? There it is. Continue with, well, you get the idea. Maybe that won't work, but there's probably a way to expand the oxygen farm part so that we have more than 4. But I'm not even sure that this will work through the doors, so let's give it a go, shall we? So I've got the solar doors there. Now, in case you didn't see it, there's a hinge here, 2 pistons, a rotor, another hinge, a conveyor block, another hinge, another piston. So basically, we've got a couple batteries there that extend it up above the oxygen farm. So ideally, this should all lift up through the doorway. The pistons can raise it up high enough to clear the hull, or whatever cosmetic stuff is out there. The rotor will allow it to spin horizontally like this, and then the hinge will let it lay up and down depending on where it's at to better align with the sun. For example, like this. It'll come out vertically facing this way, and then you can rotate it and then roll it back on the hinge, kind of thing. And then once it's there, the this hinge will roll over and the pistons can extend, and you should be able to use the oxygen farm. Now the problem is the hangar doors, which might as well just rip the band-aid off. Oh, it's going the wrong way. Reverse. Reverse, reverse! Why aren't you reversing? Oh, I guess it's reversing. I don't like this. Yeah. Yeah, it's stuck. Isn't it? I think it's stuck. So, that's a problem. So my only real solution here is some kind of piston door that's not the airtight hangar doors, but rather a set of pistons with like blast door blocks or something that are going to get pushed out in front of it and then retracted. The only reason I don't like that is because it adds more mechanical clang elements to the mix, which I was trying to hopefully avoid. I'll tell you what, let's actually test out this while we're at it. That's the base. So let's unlock the hinge on the O2 farm. And I might have to reverse it. Apparently it's not facing the right direction. Where are you at? Reverse. Okay, why aren't you moving? That doesn't make a lot of sense. I know it had a velocity, so it should just reverse. Alright, fine. Let me do this the hard way. Okay, what do we got here? Let's unlock it. Current rotation is out of the limit. Why? If its current angle is 260, it's lower. Oh, the upper is at 90. Something happened where it adjusted the angle. I think it was when I locked the hinge, it went from like 90 to something else. Alright, let's... How do I... Now it's moving. What? Okay, so if I lower the upper limit, then it moves. Wait, it's going... Its numbers got screwed up somehow. It's like going the wrong way. Hold on. This thing's a mess. I don't know what it's doing. I hate some of this stuff in this game. It's like, I've got it on negative, so when you lower this, the numbers shouldn't go higher. It makes no sense. Fine. Oh, that's cool. So when I reverse it, or it doesn't do anything. It doesn't even know what it's doing. Okay, now the number's going down. What in the world is it doing? This thing is so screwed up, it doesn't know what it's doing. Okay, so I guess I need to get it to 360 and then go from there, because it's gonna reset to 0? That's dumb. I don't know what that is, but that's dumb. Oh, and now it's going that way. Fun. Not what you're supposed to do. Okay, so what I actually want is to reverse this now. And I actually want the lower limit to be negative, and I want this to be 0. Is what I actually needed to do, apparently. That's so weird. Okay. No, what? No, 0. Oh my gosh. Alright. Now, it should go where I want it to go. Good lord. Alright. So that actually works relatively simply. Once you get the direction figured out. Okay. What I really wanted to see is, does this scrape? And yeah, it kind of does. Is it damaging this stuff, or is it just... I don't know if it'll do it in creative or not. I don't know if block damage should still be on, I think. So I suppose that's encouraging that it's not actually damaging anything, but it is scraping. Interesting. So I think we're going to put this on hold for a couple episodes while I get feedback from you guys of what are your suggestions on mechanics. I'm not too worried about the scale or design, but just kind of the mechanics of the door and the way that the placement of hinges and all that kind of stuff, the functional blocks should be set up and orchestrated. The design of how big it is and whatnot, I'm not worried about that as much because I can always scale it up from there. But as far as basically how to make a door, because I think the functionality of this is fine. I think it would work. I just got to get it through an opening, and the stupid blocks are only 4 blocks wide, and even that won't let 4 blocks clear. It's really only 3.5 level of clearance kind of thing, so that's kind of annoying. But anyways, I think we might move on to the thruster pods over here and see if we can't get them a little more organized. Okay, well, it is safe to assume that I am at my wit's end with these thrusters. Because every time, and I mean almost every time, I had to build or do something, there was some part that was loose. There was some part that wasn't quite attached to another part, and so now it was free-floating, and now I basically had to rebuild this thing like 4 times, maybe 3, because it just, none of it would actually line up, or when you got to the end, it wouldn't connect, or it was, oh man, it was just very annoying. So yeah, I'm kind of finishing up here on this section, and I don't think that I'm going to do, I don't think I'm going to use all of these hydrogen thrusters, because it doesn't really seem all of that necessary considering the amount of force that we've seemed to be able to do, and especially given the lateral. We're not really getting anything by extending these in the forward or reverse category. It's purely lateral. Now the lift ones, those I may leave. I'm not sure about those. If I'm going to leave anyone, it's going to be the downward ones, because this lower section is what's going to go down to the planet. So there is that. But yeah, other than that, I'm not sure. I might end up staggering them and doing like 3 at a time or something. Like 3, then skip 3, then 3 more thrusters, that kind of thing. Possibly. And even this, you may go, well, why are you doing it this way? Why wouldn't you just put the little blocks at the end? Well, I did the little blocks at the end. But lo and behold, it wouldn't end up working when then I tried to connect the top part to this part, because this wasn't connected to the top part. It's just been a day. It's been a day. So, also I noticed this. These are full panels. These are not, which means that there's missing blocks in this area somewhere. So actually I want to find them. So if we've got, that's fine, that's fine. It's these 2 that have textures showing. And in case you were wondering what I was talking about, it's these little ribbon pieces here that are not on the other ones. Most of you probably caught that. And as you can see, there's a tunnel here where there's nothing there. Why? Oh, there we go. So if we just fill this out, and we'll just bring it out and then clip a few, because honestly we're going to need to bring it out anyway when we finish this. And I also did, as you can see here, I did a plus shape Well, actually, it's probably easier to see outside. Yeah, like this. I did a plus shape with the hydrogen tanks. Some people were having kind of debates in the comments on whether or not I needed more or less hydrogen tanks, and I did add some more in the main fuselage, but I'm kind of the mindset that when you're dealing with thrusters that require fuel, I'd rather have too much than not enough. Now, if you guys know of a reasoning other than just weight, that the more mass you have, the harder it's going to be to lift off, then let me know. But as far as I can tell, I'm thinking it's probably better to have more than I need than not enough. But if there's any other reasons that you're aware of that does not add up with that logic, then do let me know. But yeah, this thruster pod thing, it's been a bear. Like, I've not been a happy camper while building this, because it's just been like, I've done the front fascia pieces that I showed before. I don't even think I did them on the... No, I didn't. So the front panels that covered all of this, I've done it 2 or 3 times now. Once when I clipped it and then had to rebuild it, and then when I realized that... And then I did the back, and then I realized this wasn't connecting to that, and I'm like, well, why not? And it was because this wasn't... It was actually floating, and these blocks weren't connected. It was just... It was a pain. It was a hassle. So as you can see, I've even clipped all of the excess... I don't remember what you'd call that, but I guess slats kind of thing that we had on here, because I've got to make sure all of this connects up first, and then we can connect the dots in between them. But when I clipped the front and the back end off and didn't reconnect them properly, apparently, it just made a mess out of things, and it was not a fun way to try and build stuff. So like I said, I'm just going to build this out. And I don't know, like, I know that I probably could do something else and make use of the extra blocks, but I almost went with heavy armor, actually, at one point, because I was thinking, well, this is kind of your hydrogen thrusters that if these get blown up, you're going to be dead in the water kind of thing. Hence why I added some inside the ship and wanted to test out that the ions and stuff worked, because these are kind of out here, and they would make easy targets for an attack, but as long as the ship can fly without them, I'm not as concerned. So I do think that length is going to be better. It makes them a little less pod-like and a little more nacelle-like, but I think that'll be okay. And like I said, I may do like 3, skip 3, leave 3, skip 3, something like that. And I may try and trim up some of the hydrogen thrusters, but I'm not sure yet. We'll kind of play that by ear. But I'm going to leave it like this for now, just because I've had enough of it for today. I'm done. But let me know what you guys think in the comments. In the meantime, I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, leave a like, and I will see you all next time. Peace.